Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast channel. Join me today as we explore one of the controversial doctrines of the Catholic Church, titled The Immaculate Conception of Mary. A lot of people often confuse the Immaculate Conception with the virgin birth. The virgin birth refers to the birth of Jesus Christ, while the Immaculate Conception refers to the conception of Mary in the womb of Saint Anne. The problem that this doctrine poses, of course, is that it creates a tense line of argument with another immutable teaching of the Catholic Church, the doctrine of original sin. As St. Paul clearly states in Romans chapter 1 verse 23, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. This is due to the fact that fallen man has contracted original sin from our first parents. So in today's episode, we shall be answering two key questions. Question number one, how can it be that Mary was born without original sin? Question number two, doesn't this suggest that she doesn't need Jesus' salvation, or is she not among those to be redeemed by Christ's death? Wow, so interesting. Why not get comfortable and enjoy one of the greatest miracles in human history? I am your host, Ojo Daniel Tassishis, and I'm delighted to have you listening to me today. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please do so to continue enjoying more content like this. And remember to click the notification button to be alerted whenever I release new videos. Let's engage with the topic at hand as we begin. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception of Mary, which the Church celebrates on the 8th of December every year, is a central belief in the Catholic Church that teaches that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was conceived without original sin. The Immaculate Conception was formally defined as a dogma by Pope Pius IX on the 8th of December 1854 through the Papal Bull Ineffabilis Deus. This declaration states that the belief in the Immaculate Conception is essential to the Catholic faith and must be upheld by all Catholics. In his role as the supreme teacher of the Church, the Pope declared that this doctrine is divinely revealed and must be accepted with faith by the entire Church, which made it a dogma. To our first question, how can it be that Mary was born pure, holy, and without original sin? Yes, Mary was born without original sin. This dogma asserts that from the very moment of her conception, Mary was preserved by God's grace from the stain of original sin, which affects all other human beings. She received a special baptism, which by implication she was born in a state of grace. This unique privilege was granted to her because she was chosen to be the mother of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, number 490, states that God chose Mary from all eternity to be the mother of Jesus, preparing her for this role by freeing her from original sin from the moment of her conception. Also, Catechism of the Catholic Church, numbers 492 to 493, emphasizes that Mary's immaculate state was a singular grace and privilege granted by God to equip her for a unique role in salvation history and reflect her identity as the new Eve. In the Gospel of Luke chapter 1, 26 to 30, we see the angel Gabriel visiting Mary to announce the message of salvation. In verse 28, as recorded, when he saw Mary, he said, Kaire ke karitomene, meaning, Hail, grace-filled one, which denotes the fact that she was blessed among women. In the 1986 encyclical Redemptoris Mater, number 8, on Mary as the mother of the Redeemer, Pope John Paul teaches that the angel greets Mary as full of grace. This title serves almost as a real name, as it does not address her by her earthly name, Mary. Instead, it designates her by this new name, full of grace. Because of this grace, Jesus, the Son of the Eternal Father, who through the incarnation became our own Son. In verse 30, the angel said, Do not fear, you have found favor with God. Later in that same chapter, verse 48, Mary magnified God for honoring her and making all generations to call her blessed. Also, when Mary appeared to Saint Bernadette Soubirous in Lourdes, France, in the year 1858, she said to Bernadette, I am the Immaculate Conception, which is said in French, Je suis Immaculée Conception. This evidenced the fact that she was indeed conceived without sin because she affirmed it with her own mouth. Although the early church fathers did not explicitly use the term Immaculate Conception, but they deeply revered Mary's purity and holiness, which laid the foundation for the doctrine. St. Irenaeus described Mary as the new Eve, highlighting her obedience and special grace. St. Ephraim of Syria referred to Mary as all pure and free from sin in his hymns. St. Augustine noted Mary's holiness as the mother of Jesus, while St. Ambrose underscored her unique role as the mother of God and her special protection from sin. Mary was born holy, lived holy, and died holy. This is why her body was gloriously taken into heaven. The holiness of Mary is symbolically depicted in Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 to 6, though the author of Revelation did not particularly ascribe the woman to be Mary. The woman is clothed with the sun, which may symbolize glory and righteousness, often interpreted as the radiance of God. The moon under her feet could signify the dominion and authority given to her, and the crown of 12 stars often symbolizes the 12 tribes of Israel or the 12 apostles. Catholics often ascribe the woman as the Blessed Virgin Mary because these attributes portray the Blessed Virgin Mary. Answering the second question, do Mary need Jesus' salvation since she was already born without original sin? Yes, Mary still needs Jesus' salvation. Mary was still a human being like the rest of us. Though she was different, she was exempted. The privilege of exemption from sin was given to Mary in view of Christ's merits. Jesus was Mary's savior. She was redeemed by Jesus Christ just as we all are, except that Mary's redemption was unique. It was proactive or preventative redemption. The fruit of Christ's redemption was applied to preserve Mary from sin, as it is applied to us to remove sin contracted from our first parents, Adam and Eve. We should also know that the grace she received at her conception was in anticipation of Christ's sacrifice on the cross. Conclusively, Eve was the instrument through which sin entered the world, while Mary is seen as the new instrument of salvation and redemption. She is often referred to as the new Eve, just as Adam collaborated with Eve to bring sin into the world. God collaborated with Mary to bring salvation into the world. In Genesis chapter 3 verse 15, God declared his punishment by putting enmity between the woman and the serpent, as well as between their respective offsprings. Here, the serpent allegorically symbolizes sin, which ultimately leads to death. Christ's resurrection conquers death, and thus, the offspring who will bruise the head of this serpent is interpreted as Christ. The woman in this passage is allegorically represented as Mary, the new Eve. This passage, also known as the Proto-Evangelium, as it is often viewed as the first hint of the coming Redeemer who will defeat sin and evil through a woman. Mary shares in her son's victory over sin and death because she was holy from the moment of her conception, enabling her to bring the Savior into the world. Thank you very much for your time and for listening. I remain your host, Ojo Daniel Tarsicius. Bye for now. Please don't forget to subscribe, click the notification button, like, comment, and share. Thank you.